Don't bring me down. Don't bring me, don't.
Welcome back, you guys. So tonight we're going to be working on a Glock 19, and this is going to be a very extensive build. So let me just give you a real quick overview of what we're doing, and then we're going to jump right straight over to the Tormach 770. First and foremost, we're going to be chamfering all the way around the edges, and I'm not sure what generation model this is. If you look, the line here is not 100% straight. It almost looks like this was a cast or maybe a forged type slide, so maybe it's a Gen 2 or a Gen 1. I'm not sure, but there is the serial number. If one of you guys can identify this, that'd be great. Post that in the comment section below. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running a chamfer down through here, which is going to sort that problem out. It just has a lot of, I guess I'd call it a kind of a wavy pattern between the top and the sides. You can see it here, and you can kind of see it over here. Then of course, again, you can see it in the back section here where it kind of flares out. But nonetheless, it's going to look nice and cool once we cut those chamfers. It'll be nice and square at that point. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run the Vortex Viper on the rear right through the existing dovetail, and we will relocate the dovetail to the front of the Vortex, or I should say Viper, because they make several models, so in front of the Viper. At that point, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff like shaving the sides. We're going to be doing some patterns on the sides, pattern on the top, pattern on the other side. Got some window stuff we're going to be doing. There's a lot of extensive work on this one. It's going to be a lot of different tool changes and things like that because we're going to be using a ball nose, and we're going to be doing a lot of, I think there's some chamfer work, and there's definitely some end mill work. So it's going to be kind of just going back and forth on a lot of different tool change outs. But with that being said, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to get you over to the Tormach 770. Let's go ahead and start the main three things, which is that chamfer, that Viper, that dovetail. Let's bring it back, let's take a look at it and see what we have. All right, guys, this is the final product. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is missing content. So at the very beginning of this video, we talked about doing a chamfer on the slide, which we've done, doing a dovetail, doing a Viper cut on the back, then bringing it back and talking about it. However, it seems as though I've misplaced that content. So I don't know what happened, whether I erased it or it was formatted over, or maybe it was on a different memory card. However, I just don't know where it is. Now, the other thing that we're missing on this video is we shaved this side down to remove the last part of Austria. So right over here was Austria, and here's the end of it. And the idea here was we just didn't want the butchered text. So we shaved that down just enough to go ahead and remove that. You can see a little bit of it that's left there. That's not going to be a big deal. Once they do their final prep work and do their coloring, that'll lay right over top of that. We won't actually be able to see that at all. We will still be able to see the 9x19, which is pretty cool for whoever owns the slide. But guys, one of the other things that we did was we went ahead and did the nose of the barrel. Now, this was a special request from the shop. Now, I don't know if this is a customer gun, this is a house gun, this is a for sale gun. I'm not 100% sure what this is, but this was one of the requests that they had. They wanted the nose of the barrel flush cut. So we did just that. See if we can get you guys a couple different views here. And it came out really killer. So I'm not sure whether they're doing like a ZRN or a tin coating or a black nitride coating or maybe just Cerakoting. I don't know what the end game is there, because I don't know whether this is a house gun or a customer gun, but I do know it looks killer. So guys, overall, I'm really pleased with the way it came out. We were able to go ahead and add a very aggressive cut here with the front on the ball nose. So basically this is very aggressive on your hand. It's also very pleasing to see versus just having a smooth side there. So that's kind of a 2-for-1. Real happy with the aesthetics of how that came out and the functionality as well. So real pleased with that. Alright guys, if this is your first video, I would encourage you to go back and watch some of our other videos that we've put out last year. We've got some really great content that we've been turning out lately. And guys, one of the things I want to let you know is you might not hear from me for a couple of weeks. I have a couple of really big projects that need to be done. We've got some deadlines that this stuff needs to be turned out by, and they're very advanced builds. So one of the things that you're seeing in my hand is a frame to one of the builds. It's going to be the most advanced Hive hex build I've done to date, including the top and lower and color and all put together, including the barrel. So it's going to be very advanced, even more advanced than my green gun that you guys have seen before. If you haven't seen the green gun video, go back, search for back in May of 2017, and you'll see that I put out a video of a gun that I was working on, and I was kind of using my green gun as an example. We don't actually have a build video of my green gun, but the idea is that there's around 20,000 people that have actually viewed that first video that we turned out almost a year ago, and the number count is still going up daily. So it's one of those things that if you haven't seen it, go back and take a look at it. I reference my green gun quite a bit. There's a lot of cool stuff on the green gun, and today it's still one of the most popular when I go to the show. So it's usually the first one that people pick up, even though it was one of the first ones that I made quite a while back. So pretty cool there. But guys, on some of these big builds, M&P 2.0s, CZ P10s, and some other just standard Glock stuff that's very advanced, I would encourage you to go to our Instagram page, because we're going to be turning out a lot of the small work in there. So you're going to see a lot of like a real quick video of like maybe sandblasting, or maybe something being colored, or maybe just the angle of something. We try not to do a full-blown video on Instagram, of course, but we do give you the opportunity to kind of get into the video before the video comes out, so you get to see a little bit more about what's going on. And that's kind of cool. So you might not see us for a little bit, but you'll be able to catch up with what's going on there. Also, if you go over to our Facebook page, we have an opportunity that we're going to be doing a Q&A live session on there. We haven't set a date for that yet. We're still trying to figure all that out, but throughout the next couple of weeks, we are going to be turning out a Q&A live session where you'll be able to ask some questions, get some answers. We'll be able to talk a little bit more about new hardware that's coming in that we're still waiting on, maybe where we are with that hardware. So we're kind of waiting for a little bit of the Q&A to go live. Once we get the new machine, we'll probably show it off a little bit on there before we actually do a full-blown video. So there's going to be some cool stuff, just an opportunity to kind of get into our lives just a little bit more, ask some of those questions that maybe you'd like to just have answered. Maybe it's not necessarily anything specific to a project that you're looking to have done, you're just curious about something. So real cool, give you an opportunity to kind of jump in there and get some of that stuff answered. But guys, check us out on Instagram, check us out on Facebook, and of course stay tuned on YouTube for some of these really big builds. And hey, you can always catch me on the next one. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to hit us up on our contacts page, and we'll answer those the best we can. Thanks, guys.